everyone, this is Chris. Thank you for joining me. In today's video, we're going to be making pinwheel cards, and they're fun, they're interactive. As you can see, they work really well. It's really easy to do and it's fun. You can do this with your kids. Pinwheels are for all ages. And of course, these are just two examples. You can make them in any colors you wish and use any kind of embellishments. I've used little paper flowers. I have a whole stock of these, so I decided to use them up. And you can use stamps, so really very, very simple. The materials that you will need are a card base. I'm going to use again a white card base. Like I always say, use the colors you want. I will be using two other papers, cardstock papers in different colors, one smaller than the other. These are regular A2 size card. I'm not giving you any measurements because it depends if you want to have something, you know, with a big margin or much smaller. It's not really important at this stage. I've rounded the corners on this one. I haven't on this one. That's totally optional as well. And I've embossed the top layers. They're just bold colors. This one is with flowers. This one is like leaves or, you know, greenery. This is also optional. If you want to use pattern paper, you can. But I really wanted to make my my two little things here pop out, so I used bold colors behind. You will need some brads, any color, embellishments. You will need one piece of 2 by 2 inches, which is 5 by 5 centimeters, something that would match maybe your card. And something also very important is that you will need foam tape, double-sided foam tape, and also 2 pennies, or if you're in euros, 2 cents, 2 euros, 2 cents to use that, something around. You could do that with buttons, but make sure that the buttons are not too thick because it's not going to work as well, or you will need to use more foam tape to have to make it work better. Okay, I think that's it. And normal double-sided tape. So what I've already done here, I've prepared my 2 pieces. The main card base, we're going to leave it alone for now. So I decided to use, I'm going to use the same colors as this one, but invert the colors. So this is going to be my background color, and I'm going to put the purple on top. And I've used this piece here. It's just a scrap piece of paper, so it's a really nice way, again, to use your scraps. And if you want to, it's nice to have a double-sided because you will see both sides of the paper, like when we're going to fold it. Okay? So you can do it in white if you wish. You don't have to have a double-sided paper, but I just think it's kind of nicer. So once you have your 2 pieces like this, the first thing you're going to do is, if you emboss them or not, is going to glue them on top of each other. So I'm going right to the edge here and a little bit inside too. So there is something you need to think about first, is how you're going to decorate it. So here you can see on this example, my tag here, my sentiment is quite big. So I didn't make the hole in the middle of my card in the center. I've offset it a little bit on top. It's also what I've done here because I think it's kind of nicer, and I just eyeballed it. Oh, and by the way, I've used a die for this. If you don't have a rectangular die, you can use maybe a punch, or you can just use an X-Acto knife and do it by yourself. But first, you need to know somehow where you're going to put it and not put glue on that part. So this is going to be, I'm going to say that this is going to be my top part. This is going to be my bottom part. So I'm just putting a bit more glue here. And this is probably the place where there's nothing, where I'm going to put my, cut out my hole. So now I'm going to center this. You can see that I have a little piece off there. I'm going to center that one there. Okay. And now I'm going to run this through my cutting machine and cut it out there. I have already thought about a sentiment. I might use maybe this tag here underneath, which is quite big. And I will put a little bit of color. I just want to do something a little different. Maybe I'll try to find something smaller, because now that I can see it, I think it's a bit too big. So I might go for something a little smaller, because my pinwheel is quite big, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. No, I think I'm going to leave it like this. Actually, I like it this way. And I will be putting a sentiment on top, which is relax, something nice. But first, I'm going to cut this piece off. And again, if you don't have any rectangular die, you can just trace it with, you don't have to make it very big, but this one measures like 9 centimeters, which is about 3.5 inches. It needs some space to go here, you know, that way. But you can make it a little longer if you wish. So you trace it, and for the width, it should be smaller than your piece of money, than your penny. Like here, it's about 1.5 centimeters. It should be not wider than 1 centimeter. It needs to be smaller than this, whatever the size it is, or whatever country. I mean, the penny you're using, it needs to be the hole needs to be smaller than this size. Okay. So this one I have here is just perfect. I'm going to run it through, and I'll be back in a second. Okay, so I've done my punch here, my hole, and now what we're going to do is make our pinwheel. So once you've cut that, again, 2 inches by 2 or 5 by 5, you could make it bigger if you want to, as long as it's a square, it's just good. What you are going to do is measure the middle, or find the center of your square. So what I have done here is that I've just marked, like, since it's 5 centimeters, at 2.5 centimeters, or at 1 inch, you're going to do some marks here, in the center, and then you are going to join the points and make a mark just in the center here, so you won't have to erase everything. You're doing the same thing here. You join the two parts and just make a mark in the middle. So maybe, let me see, by going very, very close, you will see that there's a mark, a pencil mark. There's a cross here, and around the cross I did a little circle. I hand draw the circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just to remind you that when we're going to cut, you should not cut straight until the middle, because otherwise you're going to ruin your pinwheel. So now we're going to take some scissors, and we're going to stop where I made my circle. It's about 0.5 centimeter from the center. And of course you're facing the center. All right. We're going to do this in each angle, each corner. And there you go. Okay, so we're going to end up like this. Now we're going to make some holes. We're going to do 5 holes. So you can use a little punch hole. You can use a needle tool. That's what I'm going to use. So we're going to make our first hole in the center of our square. And I'm going to use this scrap piece of paper. Preparing the hole. All right. So there's our center hole here. Okay, I think you can get it. And we're going to do 4 holes on our triangles. But something make sure before is that you always do the hole on the same side. Like me, for example, I'm going to do the holes on the right side of the paper. So it should be always on this side. And then it's going to be on that side. And then on that side. And finally on that side. Okay, always on the same side. Don't get mixed up with this. I'm going to go back a little bit, because when I zoom too much, I tend to be off camera. And I'm not going to measure this. I'm just eyeballing it. Since I need to pick a hole, I'm not going too close there. Okay, I'm going around that in this position, which is about maybe half centimeter, which is 2/8 of an inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch. I'm going to go around here, poke a hole, and go through. All right, little hole. I'm going to do this on this side again, about the same place. This side too. And the last one here. All right. Now, something that is going to be more convenient for you, and I'm going to use what I have under my hand here, is that in order not to crease the paper, I think it's nicer when it's rounded, where the hole is, we're going to slightly go like this. You can use a pair of scissors if you want to, but we're going to cut the fibers a little bit and start making a round shape. You're going to do this for all of them. It's very quick. This is heavy cardstock. This is what I'm doing this. Otherwise, it's going to make creases, which I don't like. But if you don't mind, you can. You don't have to do this step. You can step the step. Okay, so it's giving it this shape, and you're kind of seeing where we're going. And now, what we need to do is. There are different ways of doing it. I'm just trying to see now what color I'm going to use. I'm going to use this color. And I'm going to start by putting one piece here, and then I'm going to join all my pieces in my, I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it, but I'm going to poke my brad into all my holes. And the last one will be in the middle here, in the center. One little baby, I'm trying to stay focused. I think I have it now. And yes, I'm good. Woohoo! Made it. Okay, now you're going to open it. There you go. All right. This is what's going to hold the pinwheel. And there you go. And as you can see, it's rounded. It's not flat or not too much. So it's got a lot of volume. Okay. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take your foam tape and you're going to cut a piece that you're going to put on the back. And we're going to round it. The first piece is maybe not that important to be rounded, but it needs to be at least smaller than your penny. Can be square. The first one can be square, but smaller. You should cut it a little bit more. Yeah, that's going to be fine. So I'm going to glue it down here. All right. Take the backing off, stick my penny on top, and we're going to put another piece, and that is the piece we're going to round a little bit. If you wish to make it work better, the piece that we're going to put here needs to be a little bit smaller than your hole there, all right? So, I don't want to use these scissors. I have other scissors that I'm just going to use for that, and I'm going to make a round shape. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course, because no one's going to see it. Oops. Just need to be smaller. That is not enough. Now it's going to be good. I'm going to put that one on top. Okay. And I'm not yet going to put the other penny on top. Let me go back a little bit. We're going to put this aside. We're going to take these two cards. We're going to take our base card, and we're going to put a lot of foam here. We're going to put 2 layers of foam. 1 layer is not going to be enough unless you have a really, really thick foam tape. Mine is not, and I would recommend doing this. So I'm going to make mine a little longer, a strip that is a little longer than my window here. And I'm going to cut this piece in half. It doesn't need to be big. You can, but you don't have to. Oops, it's really getting sticky. I just think it's a bit more economical doing it this way, so I'm going to put one here. I'm going to take the backing off. I'm going to put the other piece down just on top. And again, you see, I'm not being perfect there. It doesn't matter because nobody's going to see it. We're going to do the same on the bottom and the same on the side. So I'm going to do that off camera, and I'll be back when done. All right, so I've put my foam twice everywhere and a little bit down here. And now what I'm going to do, okay, the card is going to open this way, so I'm going to make sure I'm putting it the right way. I'm going to put my pinwheel on that side, and here what I'm going to do is stick my other penny just behind and overlap with the other one as perfectly. I didn't took the backing off. Oops. Let me do that. It's gonna stick better now. All right, let me do it again. Right. Okay, so I was saying you're putting the penny on top of the other one. Grab it really well there, and it's good. And here you go. So if it does that, it's a bit normal. It's because it's not perfectly rounded. So you need to play with it a little bit, and the foam is going to take its shape, and after a while it's going to work much better. You can see that already. I need to poke this one out. And there you go. And because we've put double-sided foam, it's going to work exactly the same way when stuck on our card. So again, I'm going to center this and glue it down. And there you go. Put this back up. And again, to make it really work, do that a few times so the foam is going to take its shape, and it will work even better afterwards. There you go. Ooh, I think it's fun. I think it's really nice. I like the colors actually. They really match really well. So that's it. Now I can put my sentiment on the bottom. So I've changed my mind. I think the other one was really too big. So I decided to use the relax word I wanted to, and I inked it with 2 colors, and then I didn't fussy cut. I just used, you know, deckled edge scissors, go around like a little, how could you do that? A little cloud, and I'm going to put it there. But I'm not going to raise it up because otherwise it's going to be annoying my pinwheel. I'm just going to use double-sided tape, flat one. I might ink the edges. Actually, that's what I wanted to do, and I'm going to ink it with a little bit of that pink. I love inking my tags. I could have made it smaller, but, you know, this is just the technique I wanted to show you. Okay, let me put a little bit of tape. There you go. And now I'm going to try and center this. Yep, I think it's good this way. All right, and maybe now 1 or 2 embellishments. Maybe this little flower there. I'm going to use liquid glue for this because that's really rare, but I didn't turn on my my glue gun. I'm going to put this one here. It's more or less the same colors. And on the other side, let me see, I might just put a little bead, a little flat back pearl, and I'm going to stick to the colors, and I'm going to use a pink one. I'm just going to do that here. That's it. Not too much. I think it's enough. The pinwheel is turning just perfectly. Maybe I'll put a little bit of something in there because it's a bit flat. I'm going to put it right now. Let me see. I need a little something here. It's too kind of dull. Something there. And something there. Just like that. I think it, yeah. I like when there's a little bit of sparkling and shine. Oh, it's cute. Of course, you decorate it as you wish. That's really optional, what I just wanted to use. This is not brand new, but I really like the pinwheels. I think it's fun. It reminds us when we were a child, and it's as good for an adult or for a young person. It's, of course, a more feminine card, but hey, that's nice. So please, if you like this video, give me some thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button, and also share on social medias. And of course, comment, just say hello, say hi, how you're doing. Tell me for which country you are, because I'm traveling with you, and I just love that. And if you have any questions or suggestions for other videos that you want me to do, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much. Take care and see you soon.